Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Freedom Phantom, aka Masi Madzai, or vice versa. My channel is about gaming, growth, and getting free from the grind. And today I'll be talking to you guys about relationships, particularly friendships. So without further ado, let's get into the topic. In 2 days, I've walked away from two best friendships, or two of my best friends. One on good terms and one on very bad terms. And honestly, I feel relieved. This isn't about drama. It's about realizing that some friendships aren't worth maintaining or keeping for long term or indefinitely. Especially when it comes at the cost of my own sanity and my mental health. So just to touch up on the mental health side of the reason why I let go is because I'm diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I have been bipolar since I was 14, or was diagnosed when I was 14, and I'm 32 years old. And I've noticed that for a long time, I've been prioritizing other people's emotional needs and mental stability above my own. I have a messiah complex, and I try to help people, even though it's hurting me, even though I know I should just walk away. Maybe I didn't know. Maybe I at that time I didn't know. But prioritizing other people's mental health above my own has damaged or caused a lot of turmoil in my mind, because I feel like I'm trying to help, or I want to help, but then it just doesn't work, or it gets reciprocated with negativity, and it's imbalanced. So I'm 32 years old now, and I'm very ambitious. I'm getting some of my ambitions back. If you watch the previous video, I explained that once a person goes manic, when they recover, it takes a little while to find themselves again. I'm starting to find myself and realizing that I have a lot of ambition. I don't want to be catering to grown men, no matter which friend I have, going forward or in the past. I don't want to be responsible for their mental health or their emotional health, because I'm not anybody's therapist. I realized I actually need a therapist again recently because of this past falling out with one of my friends, who was being really unfair and unjust in the friendship. So the two friends, I'll start with the good one. He's a great person. We'll call him Mark. Me and Mark ended things on a good note. We had a great conversation for 3 hours. But I realized that at the time when we're talking that there's a lot of rules in the friendship, and most of the rules were set by Mark, and I agreed with them here and there. But when I came to think of it, it wasn't. It didn't feel natural. It felt like a performance. I had to watch my tone. I had to watch my jokes. I had to monitor everything, a lot of things around him, just so he wouldn't get upset. And for somebody like me, I'm a carefree guy. I had to watch my jokes, and then when I didn't watch my jokes, I had to explain the jokes, explain that I wasn't joking, I was joking, explain that, and then I would say stuff like, "You've known me for 8 years. How do you not know I'm joking?" So it would get constantly exhausting. And there was another dynamic where I was trying to be this. It's kind of similar to my other friend, where my other friend wasn't good with relationships, I thought I was obligated to be there, and it was happening with Mark too. And I don't want to be that guy where I don't want to be anybody's only friend, you know. And so we had to go our separate ways. I wish him the best. I don't have any animosity toward him, but I need people around me that I don't have to feel like I'm walking around eggshells with. Now we'll talk about the other friend, the one that was toxic, and I didn't realize that, even though I did. And then I would tell myself things like, I love and care about this guy, so I can't not be friends with him. I care about him. I love him. And that's the funny thing about what you say what you say, your mind attaches to and it's very limiting. Your mind doesn't want to not agree with your words because you're speaking them. So your mind's like, oh, I resonate with that. So we'll call this friend Josh, and Josh is a very negative, critical person, and I'm not. I'm not that critical. I'm not critical at all most of the time. I'm easygoing and carefree, and I'm an easygoing guy. I encourage people. I maybe have constructive criticism. I don't have destructive criticism. And Josh always loves to destruct everything. I criticize the hell out of anything and hate on it, be negative about it, and just basically bring people down so he can feel good about himself. And unlike Mark, Josh doesn't seem to have any empathy, any real compassion. He says stuff like he cares about people or his political beliefs. He says that he cares about something or he's about it, but when you dig deeper, he really doesn't walk the walk. He virtue signals a lot, he's not. I didn't realize this before because I was clouded by my own words by saying I love and care about him. But when I think about it, he loves to put people down just for his own gain, and I was sick of it because I'll give you guys an example. I'll give you guys a few examples. When I went manic, 5 years ago, 6 years ago or something, I had run away from home. I was in a manic state. I had run away from home and I drove a car all the way to Erie, Pennsylvania. And then my car got stuck in a mud in a driveway somewhere, so I abandoned my car, and I wandered in the cold for hours, barefoot. I kicked my sandals away and everything, and I think shoes. I was barefoot, and I came across this house randomly. It was a bunch of houses in the neighborhood, but I came into this neighborhood and I was just cold, and I knew even in a manic state, I knew I needed to find shelter or warmth. So I went into this house, and which I'm not like, anyways, I'll finish the story and I'll tell you guys what I feel about it. But I went into the house, I took off my jacket, and right when I entered the house, there was like a dryer or something, and I took off my jacket and I put it in the dryer, turned the dryer on, and I went upstairs, and I noticed there wasn't anybody around. And in my manic state, I found a pen and I found a piece of paper. I'm like, I'm just trying to get warm. Please don't shoot me, just in case they come home and they see me and they freak out. And after I did that, after I wrote the note, I found some food. I ate some food, and I played Xbox 360 game on their kids' console or something. I think it was the Avengers Lego game. I played that for a little bit, and I got tired, so I passed out for an hour. And when I was manic, I would usually sleep for like maybe 30 minutes to an hour, and then I would have energy for 10 hours or something. So after I took a nap for an hour, I went back into their living room and I opened their Christmas presents, and I took a toy motorcycle with me, and I also put on one of their sweaters. It was like a White Panther kind of with spots on it. It was like a sweater, and I liked it because at the time I also thought it was a mountain lion. So I'm like, oh, they have this for me. They left this Christmas present for me. I was out of my mind, and I left, and that was about it. That's all I did in their house. And over the years, like a year or maybe like 6 months passed by. The family that I did that in their house, they found my wallet at the time, and they found my ID in it, and they shipped it back from Erie, Pennsylvania to my house. They were kind enough not to press charges or anything. I felt terrible when I got better from my manic episode, when I recovered, but I couldn't have the means to go back or find the family or even remember which house it was to apologize in person or in writing. But when they sent my ID, I knew everything was good. So over the years, I think about that and I reminisce, and sometimes I find humor in the fact that I did all that and I still survived. But when I told Josh about it, I bring it up here and there, he would always guilt trip me. Instead of laughing with me, he would try to make me cry, I guess, for the sake of the argument. He'd try to make me feel bad. He'd try to make me feel like I'm a horrible person for doing that. And if he had compassion, if he had empathy, he wouldn't do that. He would understand that his friend of 8 years has been struggling with this disorder and trying to get grip, and now he's moved on and he's trying to like paint something in a humorous way where it's a sense of relief that I'm okay and the family's okay. I didn't do anything to harm them, but he put me down about that, and I'm like, yo, what are you doing right now? Like, are you really trying to make me feel bad about something that I've already moved on from? So that's one example. I'll give you guys another example of where this guy doesn't really, his virtue signaling doesn't add up. I was dashing recently, a month ago or something, and there's a smoke shop near my house. I go there to get a vape or whatever. And there was a girl that worked there, and me and her had a conversation. It was like probably our second or third conversation, and I noticed she wasn't looking well, and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, yeah, I don't feel good. I just threw up. I'm like, oh no, what happened? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, you might have food poisoning or something. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. I gotta get checked out tomorrow. I'm like, do you want anything for it? Wegmans is right across the street. Would you like anything? Would you like me to grab it? She said, no, it's okay. And I was like, no, I insist. It's right across the street. I know you can't leave work. I'll go get it for you. And I opened my phone and I'm like, which one do you want? Which stomach medication would you like? And she pointed at Pepto-Bismol. I'm like, bet. So I walk across the street because my car is literally parked. I don't need to drive all the way to Wegmans. It's right across the street. There's a street that goes. So I walk across the street and I get the Pepto-Bismol. I come back and I give it to her and she says, thank you. And then she was like, I don't know how much you take. So I open up the bottle and I read the instructions and then I give her the right dose and she takes it and then I'm on my way. And I was feeling good about that because I did a good deed. And I tell my friend Josh about it, and Josh, I don't know why. Like, I was really happy. I was really, not just because of that, but the day was going really great. And I did a good deed on top of the day. It was a productive day. I was out and about and I did a good deed on top of it. When I told Josh about it, first sentence, don't buy girl shit. Don't buy girl shit. I'm like, what do you mean? And it was like a red pill or whatever type of lingo that he was using. I'm like, why not buy it? He's like, she's not gonna date you just because you bought her Pepto or whatever. I'm like, I'm not sure if I even want to date her. I don't know her like that. And then he's like, Josh is like, tell her boyfriend to buy her Pepto. I'm like, I don't know if she has a boyfriend. And then he's like, ask her to hang out. Let's see what happens. You know, just twisting the good deed into something that it doesn't need to be. It's just like I was being a decent human being. I had human decency. And instead of saying, yeah, dude, good job. That's nice of you. That's kind of you. He literally puts me down and makes it seem like all girls are the same. All girls are just using guys. And this MGTOW bullshit that I don't resonate with. He's not even MGTOW. And his whole argument falls apart when in the next example. But anyways, I don't want to give you guys examples after examples. Basically, I'm an optimist, he's a pessimist, and we don't work out. Positive and negative cancel each other out. I do not need to be there. And the only reason I was is because of the words I was using, the obligations that I was thinking about, where Josh isn't good with relationships and I am. So therefore, I need to be his only friend. Josh has depression and anxiety, and I don't. I need to make sure he's okay. And the last example I'll give you guys, just because it's really relevant to this. This is the bad friend walking away was absolutely necessary, so I did it without blinking when I thought about everything. The good friend, not so much, because he's compassionate. The good friend is. So Josh, complete jackass, complete moron. Not moron, but yeah, completely heartless. Mark, on the other hand, compassion, empathy, cares about people, wants to do the right thing, and all that. So it was harder with Mark, but it was just not compatible for the moment, for the right time. And Josh one time was going through suicidal ideations, and I was like, I was walking around with my mom at a store, and I was on the phone with Josh, and I'm like trying to give positivity, encourage him to look for the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm like, and he's saying all of these things that aren't really helping with him getting in a better mindset. And he knows me. He knows I'm an optimistic person. He knows no matter what I go through, I always try to come back and stronger. And when I asked him, "Hey, what would you do if you were me?" He said verbatim, he said, "I would kill myself if I were you." At the time it was funny. It's still a little funny now, but at the time it was funny because I didn't really process it. But who says that to a friend that's really trying to help them, like with their problems, with their suicidal ideations? Who says that? You know? And the only person that says that is the person that looks down on people around him, even the closest people around him. He's not in a good relationship. His family doesn't talk to him. His brother hasn't spoken to him in 3 or 2 years. Nobody talks to him, and I'm trying here, and he's telling me that, yeah, your life sucks more than mine. Your life sucks more than mine. I've already been, yeah. So there goes. There's Josh for you. And I've been friends with him for 8 years, and I've been self-sacrificing my time, my energy to take care of his mental and emotional needs. Well, I'm the bipolar one too. I mean, like, who's gonna take care of me? Am I gonna literally take care of him, and then he messes up my mental stability, and then I have to go somewhere else to take care of myself? That's not how it should be done. So I know I rambled, I ranted, and I gave you guys a lot of examples, but basically the video is about there's no need to be anybody's messiah. You don't need to save anybody. You don't have to do it, even if people are telling you. Like, you have a choice. You have a choice to take care of yourself first, or sacrifice your own needs for the benefit of others. And it makes sense to do that, actually, when it's like your child or your family or somebody that's going through a rough time, because those are people around you all the time. Those are the people that they rely on you. But friends that you've built a bond over time, it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to take care of them or coddle them or put on a performance so they don't mind you. You know, like, it bothers me that I did that in the first place. And I created another video with Yellow Wolf's song. It's in maybe I'll put it up in the video here, but it's basically talking about a man does what he can, and when he takes you, and you know you're a man when you take care of yourself or your own. And there's a lot of resentment, rage, and anger that I didn't realize I had, because I was feeding into the Messiah complex. I was feeding into like being a good friend, quote unquote. But in the title of the other video, I said, just because I'm a good friend doesn't mean I'm a doormat, or doesn't mean I'm like I'm gonna like go out of my way and go insane to help you. And yeah, I don't think I should do that for anybody. I don't think I should go insane for anybody so they feel better. My bipolar comes first. My sanity comes first above all. Like, I don't really have the time or the energy to do that anymore. And I'm glad I realized that before it was too late. So without further ado, or I've said enough, I just want you guys to do the same. Take care of yourself first. let me give you an example of that. Like, there's an analogy I heard where, like, if a plane is going through turbulence or like whatever, or it's about to crash or there's gas or something, I think those masks drop. Those masks from the ceiling drop, and the right people with good hearts, they think, oh, I got to save the person next to me first, or my family member first, or my friend first. But the reality of that is, if you try to save them while there's toxic air coming out, and you're in the process of trying to save them, and they're moving around or something, and fidgeting or something, or whatever, it's turbulence and all this, you could pass out in that moment and not be able to save them, and then you both are now gone. You both have toxic filled in your lungs. So the right move would be to put the mask on yourself first, and then put it on your friend, family, or loved one, or whoever you want. And that's what I'm doing now. Thank you for listening and watching. And if you did resonate with the video, then I encourage you to also put your needs first. Put your needs first. It's not about wants. It's like, yeah, it is about wants in some scenarios, but put your needs first. What do you need? What kind of friends do you need? Do you need friends that constantly try to hold you accountable, or do you need friends that also like are carefree or don't restrict you from doing this or that, because that's the personality you have? You wanna enjoy life. You wanna be carefree. You wanna have fun, and when you're hanging out. Or do you want friends that are always critical about everything? If that's your thing, then do that. But only know if you have the resilience for it. Don't bite more than you can chew, and also don't settle. Thank you for watching. Freedom Phantom out.